thank you all for being on time. You all get extra points for arriving right at 7. So that's a huge feat. And we know there's so much interest and enthusiasm and learning from Babs tonight. And I know more people are going to trickle in. But just because you guys are right on time, we are going to get started. And I'm going to start with, I'm the lucky one who gets to introduce Babs. But first, I'll just tell you a little bit about this series. My name is Dr. Amy Commander. I direct the Lifestyle Medicine program at the Mass General Cancer Center, as well as the Paving the Path to Wellness program for breast cancer survivors. And we learned over the course of all these offerings that our patients and participants love learning more. Lifelong learners, I like to call everybody. And so there's always great opportunities to learn more about how we can improve our lifestyle to improve our overall health. And there's just so many different ways that each of us can approach this. And of course, we're thrilled to learn about lymph flow yoga tonight from Bab. So on that note, I'm going to introduce her as I keep letting people in the waiting room. So Babs is an occupational therapist, lymphedema therapist, and she's a certified yoga teacher, certified in yoga for cancer, love your brain, yoga for trauma training, and she's a Reiki master. So that's just amazing. Let's just say that right there. She is passionate and eager to create and collaborate on holistic wellness programs to support individuals through their cancer journeys and beyond. She's the founder of Lymph Flow Yoga, a type of yoga specifically designed to improve lymphatic health, which she was inspired to create to help her mom, who is a breast cancer survivor and also has lymphedema. Babs, we're so grateful to have you join us this evening, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. And I'm going to start by sharing my screen. I'm so excited. I see so many familiar faces, so that makes me feel so happy.
Yay!
Thank you for coming. And I'm going to remove your spotlight here. Okay. And then we'll get started. So welcome, everyone, to your Lymph Flow Yoga for Everybody practice. I'm going to share a little bit about Lymph Flow Yoga, kind of the history behind it, all the components, and then we'll actually do a practice all together. So it'll be a nice little evening kind of relaxation flow. It'll set you up for a good night's sleep. And so we'll begin. So I always like to say in every presentation that I do, to listen to the whispers so you don't have to hear the screams. So this goes for really any kind of presentation that you're listening to or any kind of exercise routine. I think it's really helpful to listen to your body, listen to those little whispers, those little voices that say, hey, maybe back off, before you hear the screams of, ooh, that's painful. So nothing that we'll do tonight will be painful by any means. Nothing that I ever do should be painful, but just listen to your body and kind of keep in mind that that's really our goal, is to build this better connection between your mind and body. So also, I am an occupational therapist, but for this presentation, this is not intended to be medical advice. It's really just to give you a tool to help you to promote lymph flow and to help you to learn more about your body and help you to feel better ultimately. So tonight we're going to learn a little bit about the lymphatic system. I could probably spend until tomorrow talking about the lymphatic system. I know some of my participants and my family members and friends know that I have become quite obsessed with the lymphatic system, but we're just going to do a little brief overview. And then I'm going to tell you kind of what is lymph flow yoga, what are the 4 components of lymph flow yoga, and then we'll do a chair practice, and then we'll save some time at the end for a little Q&A. So about me, Amy kindly introduced me, but I'm an occupational therapist, a lymphedema therapist, a yoga teacher, and a Reiki master, and I'm the founder of Lymph Flow Yoga. And I currently live and work in Boston, Mass, with my husband and my little puppy, Benny. So my inspiration for creating this type of yoga is my mom. She is a breast cancer survivor and unfortunately developed lymphedema. And during the pandemic, all of the outpatient clinics shut down, as many of you might know. So I really needed a way to connect with my patients and my mom. So I started a YouTube channel. And basically, it was first just to send to my patients, hey, here, do this, so that it could continue to help them while the world was kind of in this mix and mess. So that's where it all began, was in 2020. And this is a quote that my mom shared in a blog that we wrote together. Just to give a little history or background, she never was the type to do yoga or want to do yoga, but throughout the pandemic and through my virtual classes and virtual programs, she now does it weekly with me. And I've seen her change, I've seen her improve, I've seen her lymphedema reduce, and I've seen her health and well-being improve. And that makes me super happy as her daughter. And I hope that this inspires you to just try this type of yoga and try some of the practices yourself, and ultimately to give you some sense of control. I know having a cancer diagnosis or developing lymphedema a lot of times puts you out of control. So I hope tonight gives you a little bit of hope or love to give you back some of that control. So this was her quote. She said, "Babs not only treated my lymphedema, but she helped me with my whole body's health. I now understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Today my arm is under control and I'm managing my lymphedema through many ways. And now lymph flow yoga is in my weekly routine." So thanks, Mom. I think she's probably here tonight, but and that's me and her at my wedding last summer. So what is the lymphatic system? So the lymphatic system is one of the systems in the body, and it develops around 5 weeks during pregnancy. It's in touch with every corner of your body, even your brain. So I like to think of it as the little rivers that are running through the body, that's cleansing, that's clearing, and that's balancing the fluid. And I often tell my patients, if we didn't have a lymphatic system, we would kind of look like big balloon animals. So our lymphatic system really helps to manage and control the balance of fluid in the body. And you can see over here in this picture, this is just a kind of simplified version of the lymphatic system. You can see the lymph nodes are in different clusters. There's little lymph vessels all along throughout. And this picture here will give you a little bit more of an overview of the anatomy. Again, I could talk for hours about this, and I have multiple videos on my YouTube channel if you really want to dive deep. But there's different components of the lymphatic system. There's the lymph vessels, which many of you probably have heard of. Those are the little channels that are running through the body that are moving the lymph fluid, moving the fluid throughout the body. You have your lymph nodes. There's about 700, 600 to 800. They're not really sure exactly. Everyone's a little bit different. Lymph nodes in the body. A majority is in your neck and chest region, your armpits, your groin. There's some in your inner elbow, behind your knee. So they tend to come in kind of clusters like grapes, or they can come in lines like Brussels sprouts on a line kind of looking thing. So, and they're varying sizes too, depending on where they are in the body. You also have your spleen, your thymus gland, your tonsils, and your Peyer's patches in the intestines that help to filter the fluid and help with the immune response. So those are just kind of an overview of the system in general. But I have a quick question for all of you. So I'd love for you to share in the chat why you think that the lymphatic system is important. So I'll give a moment if you want to just share in the chat maybe a few things why you believe that this system is important. Don't be shy. Awesome. Yep, great ideas. So there's 3 major functions. So the lymphatic system really touches every system in the body and helps to support every system, but mainly the cardiovascular system through fluid balance. So again, think of those balloon animals. The lymphatic system helps to filter and move the fluid and send it back to the circulatory system. It also helps the digestive system because the lymphatics pick up larger protein molecules and things that the digestive system can't kind of filter out. And it also has a huge component in our immune response. So the lymphatic system is kind of the surveillance team of the body. So if something's going on in the body, the lymph nodes will send out a signal in response. So it really helps to support these major systems in the body. So I like to look at this picture. I'm very much a big picture person or teacher and learner. So it helps to look at this. So on the left side is the lymphatic system, and the right side is the cardiovascular system. You can see that the veins and the arteries here in the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic vessels basically mirror. So they're very similar to the flow of the cardiovascular system. So essentially, kind of big picture, and to simplify it, the heart pumps the blood goes throughout the entire body, and then some of that fluid from the blood gets kind of pushed out into the tissues. The lymphatic system's job is to take that fluid, filter it, bring it through the vessels to the lymph nodes, and then bring it back to the heart to get pumped out again. So you can see that wherever the blood's flowing, the lymphatic system is kind of like its best friend helping out to take that excess fluid. So like I mentioned before, if we didn't have this system, then that excess fluid from the blood flow would dump out into the tissues, and then it wouldn't get flushed out continually. So the lymphatic system is super important and is really necessary to manage that
So
fluid
important.
throughout
It's
the body.
important.
So it's very helpful, especially if you've been diagnosed with cancer or lymphedema, because with many cancer treatments, lymph nodes are removed, tissue is removed, radiation occurs, maybe different chemotherapies can affect the lymphatic flow. So understanding the lymph pathways and the way that those rivers move will help you to better manage the fluid movement. So today I hope to kind of guide you through a simplified manual lymph drainage routine so that you can start to learn to help to move the fluid yourself. So how can we support the lymphatic system? So this is an image of my mom. So there's so many ways to manage the lymphatic system and so many ways that you can support your system with or without having lymphedema. So I've noticed throughout the last few years of engaging in this practice, I've noticed my own lymphatic system getting improved, and a lot of my participants in my programs and in my classes might have lymphedema, might have cancer, but might not. So supporting and helping our lymph fluid movement is beneficial for everyone. But these are some of the key ways that you can move the fluid. So aquatic therapy, getting in water, moving, getting that resistance, dry brushing, manual lymph drainage, rebounding, wearing compression garments, yoga, using a compression pump, kinesiotape. So these are some of the kind of key ways that your therapist or I could help you with. But the one we're going to focus on tonight is, of course, lymph flow yoga. So what is lymph flow yoga? So it's a mindful movement practice to encourage lymphatic health through guided self-manual lymph drainage, emphasis on breath work, awareness of the lymph pathways, and the use of muscle pumps to assist lymph flow to encourage mind and body balance. So we're going to go over these 4 components, and we'll do a little sample practice together. But things that would kind of limit your practice, or you would want to pause on your practice, is if you had a restriction of movement from your doctor's order. So say you just recently had surgery and your doctor said, don't lift your arms for a few weeks. That would be a time that you wouldn't want to engage in the practice or modify. Also, if you were dealing with any kind of acute heart failure or acute infection like cellulitis or something that needed immediate medical attention, you'd want to go to the hospital or you'd want to get care, and you might not want to do yoga. So it's really a very adaptive and safe practice for everyone, and you'll see that today. But those are just some of the kind of red flags that I'm sure if you're here, you're not dealing with any of those. So there's 4 major components. First is breathing. I teach various different types of breathing techniques. Second is self-manual lymph drainage. So every class we engage in this certain self-manual lymph drainage routine to stimulate our central lymphatics. We then do certain yoga poses, specifically yoga poses that allow gravity to help move the fluid. And then mindfulness meditations, or different types of mantras or different types of meditations to help to calm the mind and help allow for healing. So we'll go through these 4 specifically, and then we'll engage in our practice. So the first is breathing. So every class I teach various breathing exercises, and the reason for that is the key kind of relationship between the diaphragm and the thoracic duct. So your diaphragm sits underneath your ribs. This is your primary breathing muscle. So it's like a dome shape right underneath the rib cage. And they also call this the umbrella kind of muscle. So basically, when you inhale, if you inhale with your belly breath, as you inhale, we can do it all together. So you can place your hands at your belly. And as you take a slow breath in, you'll want to feel the belly and the chest expand. And then as you breathe out, you'll feel the belly come back towards the spine. So I've told this story before. Some of you might have heard it, but in my very first yoga class, I went to a class, it's called Bikram. It's a very intense type of yoga. And after class, I came out and the woman who was teaching, she came up to me and she was like, "You're not breathing right." And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And she was like, "You're not breathing right." And I was like, "Okay, teach me, like what's going on?" It's not a very relaxing type of yoga. So don't be scared of if you've never been to yoga before. And it's not typically like that. But I was like, "What am I doing?" And she's like, "When you breathe in, you go like this." And some of you might, that might hit home for some of you. So if I ask you to take a deep breath, I'm wondering how many of you went. And sometimes we think that if we pull everything up, that's going to help us breathe more. But really what it does is it ignites our secondary breathing muscles. So our scalenes, all of the muscles here in our neck, which doesn't really help. So what we really want to stimulate or activate is our diaphragm. So the best way I've found to do this or to feel that sensation is imagine that you're smelling like something that smells really good, maybe a rose or a brownie, or I'm hungry, but something like that. So take 3 little sniffs in, go like this. Try it again. Do you feel as you're doing that, the belly puffs out, out, out? So that's the type of stimulation you want. So as you take a breath in, you want to feel the belly expand out. And if you're not truly getting it, try it tonight when you lay flat. It's a little bit easier when your spine's supported to feel your belly rise out, 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 and then slowly come back in. So they call it the umbrella muscle because if you think of an umbrella, you think of the diaphragm is a dome shape underneath the rib cage. And when you inhale, the diaphragm sits down, kind of expanding out like an umbrella opening up. And then as you blow the air out, the diaphragm comes back into the rib cage, closing in. So if you can kind of imagine that as you breathe in, the diaphragm sits down, umbrella opens up, and then as you breathe out, the diaphragm comes back in. So the importance of this, or the reason why I'm sharing all this, is because when you can get that diaphragmatic movement, the belly breathing, that's massaging this major channel called your thoracic duct that carries the lymph fluid from the lower half of the body. So the more that you can activate the diaphragm, activate your abdominal muscles to assist you with breathing, the more you're going to massage and propel and act like a vacuum pulling that fluid up. So if any of you are experiencing lower extremity swelling, abdominal swelling, doing that deep diaphragmatic breathing will help to propel and move the fluid. Another thing that we'll do today too is giving a little resistance when we do this. So you can place your hands to your belly, and as you breathe in, give a little pressure into the belly. And as you breathe out, release the pressure, let it go. Inhale, give a little pressure, push, push, push. And exhale, let it go. You might hear some gurgling sounds. You might hear some kind of movement. This morning I was teaching a class at 10 and I could hear it out loud. I was like, is anyone else hearing that? But that's sometimes the movement of the fluid kind of igniting. So sometimes when you do that abdominal massage or diaphragmatic breathing, you might hear the gurgling, and that's a good sign. Or it's just your digestion moving, and we'll call it a day. But so the second component is self-manual lymph drainage. So this is something that I wish everyone knew how to do because it's so helpful. So in every class, I teach a specific routine, and this is like a warm-up routine prior to our yoga class. So if you think about it, all those little rivers are coming towards the heart. So we want to first start at the chest here, because these, right behind the clavicles, there's two major ducts. That's where all the fluid from the body re-enters into the bloodstream. So I think of it, or I often explain to my patients, imagine you had a line of cars coming from your middle finger all the way up, or the hand all the way up to the heart. In order for the cars to move at the hand, we have to move the cars here first, then here, then here, then the hand. So oftentimes, if you're experiencing swelling in your hand and you just start to pump at the hand, you're not going to get very far. Think of those cars as just a jam there. So we want to start here at the chest to get those cars moving. So, and as we do this type of massage, we want to focus on skin stretching. So that skin stretch and relax is what propels and contracts something called a little lymph angion in the lymph vessel, which helps to open up the valves to move the fluid. So we'll start at our first position. So hands can come at the chest like this, or you can do one hand at a time. And we're going to make 5 to 10 circular pumps towards the neck. So your hands nice and flat, skin to skin contact is best. And you're just moving the skin. Relax your shoulders. So this is our first point of movement. So we're getting the cars to move here. You might notice a sensation that you need to swallow. You might notice some movement. So just about 5 to 10 circles is sufficient. Next position is at the neck. So hands to the neck like this, or you can do heel of the hands together like this. And then you're going to stretch the skin back and down. So stretching and pumping the fluid. So you really don't need that much pressure. I often have my patients look at like a freckle or something on their skin and just pump like this. So it's really just a skin stretch and then relax. So now this is getting all the fluid from the neck to drain. Our next position is at the shoulders. I'm going to do it over my shirt, but ideally you'd want a skin to skin contact. And you're going to stretch the shoulders, skin of the shoulders in a circular movement. So it should feel good. You can also do this one hand at a time. Good. And then relax your hands down. So these are the 3 major warm-up points. In our practice, I'm going to guide you through a little bit more, and we're going to ignite all the lymph nodes. But that's what I want you to focus on or remember for tonight, is massaging the chest, the neck, the shoulders. And as you do the shoulders, the elbows can pump, which helps to target the axillary or armpit nodes. So that is our manual lymph drainage warm-up. Again, we'll do this in a moment when we start our practice as well. The third component of our lymph flow yoga practice is muscle pump activation. So after you stimulate and warm up the central lymph nodes, lymph vessels, then we engage in our yoga practice, because again, those cars are now decongested, the traffic's moving here at the chest. So now when we stretch our arm, when we contract our bicep and move our arm, that fluid now has somewhere to go. So when we do a lot of our stretch and relax, when we do a lot of our heart opening postures, our core contraction, this all helps to propel the skeletal muscle against the vessels, which propels the fluid. So really any kind of movement is good for the lymphatic system. Dancing, Zumba, walking, biking, anything you like is good. Swimming is super good. So anything that gets the muscles to pump. And there was a study that demonstrated that if you do exercise in a slow and gradual way, that your risk for lymphedema is low, because you'll be slowly upgrading the exercises. So what can happen, and when some people can develop lymphedema, is when you go kind of all or nothing. So you do an exercise and you increase your heart rate and you increase your blood flow and overwhelm the lymphatics. But if you go slow, each week upgrading a little bit more, maybe a little bit more weights, then you can monitor your progress and you can also monitor your changes. So I know a lot of my patients will come to me and say, I've had lymph nodes removed. Like, can I lift anything? Can I vacuum? Can I garden? Can I do the dishes? I'm like, no, don't do the dishes. That you don't have to do. I'm just kidding. But I'll say, yes, you can do anything. You really can, but just go slow, like just slow and low, controlled. Because if you're going at that pace, then you can monitor and you can make changes and you can be mindful about your body and you can pay attention. So I encourage you all to move, which we'll do in a little bit. Okay, the last component, I'm almost done talking here. So the last component is mindfulness. So every yoga class, we do some type of mindfulness component. This morning we did a loving kindness meditation. There's always some type of mantra or some type of healing routine that we do because our bodies want to be in that rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system to heal. So I always like to say, in order to heal, we must feel. So in order to help ourselves, we need to be with ourselves and need to actually be aware and listen and again build that communication. So there's always some type of mind body healing because I really think if we can relax and get into a more soothing and calm state, then that healing can occur. So there's so many benefits, and I really think that the benefits are individual. So everyone who comes to my classes or comes to my programs, I think comes for a different reason, which I love. I think there's a whole umbrella of people who come that want to help themselves. But I think the biggest thing about lymph flow yoga that I've found or that I've heard is that it's really just your awareness. And I think awareness is key. And this participant said that knowledge is power. And when we listen to our body, it actually tells us what we need. So I think that's my goal or my intention for really all of the classes I teach or really any of my practices is that I want to give you all the power to actually help yourself. So it doesn't do anything if I'm the one doing it. I really encourage you to do some intuitive movement, take the classes, kind of notice your body changing and really listen to yourself and become your kind of best friend again and become reconnect with your body so that you can learn to love yourself and help yourself. So yeah. So the biggest takeaways is that breath work, self-manual lymph drainage, movement, and mindfulness are the 4 components of lymph flow yoga. And they're also the 4 key ways that you can improve lymphatic health as well. And I put this QR code here that links you to my website that has my YouTube channel. I also have a community of people that we meet every week that on Zoom, but I have over 650 videos as of today. So there's many, you can find any kind of video you'd like, I'm pretty sure, on the channel. And if you ever are like, I need a specific video for this, then just let me know. I actually had someone one of my coworkers, I sent them a video of a non-weight bearing video for their foot. So their foot was injured. So really there's many videos that you can see, but it's really adaptable for all. There's also chair videos, there's wrist-free videos. So I encourage you to use that and yeah, use all the practices and resources. And now we'll begin our practice. So I'll come back to this slide afterwards, but let's flow. So we can come take a comfortable seat. I encourage you to inch towards the edge of your chair so that you can find a nice tall posture, hands into the lap. And then if it feels okay for you, you can close the eyes, or if closing the eyes doesn't feel right now, you can just gaze down at the floor. And then allow your shoulders to melt away from the ears. And then take a few moments together just to ground down through your feet. Feel the connection of your physical body on your chair. And then maybe start to just become an observer of your breath and of your mental and physical state. Noticing the rhythm of your breath in this moment. Noticing the rise and fall. Maybe this is the first time all day or all night you've stopped to take a few moments for yourself. So pat yourself on the back or a little energetic hug to yourself for taking the time to be here together. I appreciate all of you for being here. And then just let your body experience this practice without judgment or worry. Just allow yourself to be guided through this movement practice, knowing that you can take it in whatever direction or as slow or as fast as you'd like. And then we'll slowly start to increase the breath. Inhale for a count of 3. And then exhale, slowly blow the air out for a count of 5. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 5. Few more breaths like that. As you breathe in, feel the belly, the chest expand. And as you breathe out, feel everything melt and relax. Softening the face, breathe in. Softening the body, breathe out. One more round. And then we can blink open our eyes and we'll begin our manual lymph drainage warm up. So just like we did before, we'll take our hands to our chest and we'll start to create some circular movements in towards the neck. Just relaxing the shoulders, just stretching the skin, light pressure. You can also do this one hand at a time too. If you're doing one hand, you can now switch to the other. And then we'll take our hands to our neck, stretching the skin down towards our collarbones. So the hands can be crossed like this, or the heels of the hands can be together, and then just stretching the skin down. And then we'll add on a little move here. So we'll take the inside of the thumb and index, and we'll just place this at the chin, and then gently alternate, just drawing one hand down and then the other. This will help you to release fluid throughout the jaw, down to the heart space. Soften through your face. Good. And then we'll take our fingers, like piano fingers, we'll bring them to our sternal region here. And then we're gonna imagine you're kind of clawing like a little cat would right at the sternal area. So you have lymph nodes along your breastbone here. So if you're experiencing breast lymphedema or chest wall or any kind of swelling, this is helpful to stimulate these lymph nodes. Good. And then we'll take our hands to our shoulders. Again, this you can do it one hand at a time. And we're gonna stretch the skin of the shoulders. So making circular movements. You can pump the elbows up and down. Soften through your face. Good. And then we'll take one hand to the armpit. Don't be shy. Who cares if you're sweating or smelly? And we'll start to pump in this arm. So I'm gonna do it over my shirt so you can see, but I'm basically pumping towards your chest. And as you do this, you can start to make some movement in that shoulder if that feels good. So it's a double whammy. You're getting some lymph drainage, some pumping in the armpit, and you're getting that muscle activity. So allow this to feel good. Might feel good in your shoulder, good. And then we'll come to the other side. So again, you can just pump and leave the arm either up or down, just focus on one thing. If you feel like it's tapping your head and rubbing your belly. Just do one thing at a time, but if you'd like to do the combo, go for it. Good. So those are our major lymph areas in the upper body. We also have lymph nodes in the inner elbow as well. So we'll take our hand nice and flat to the inner elbow, your cubital fossa, and then start to make some circular pumps here. You can also bend and straighten, flex and extend the elbow too. So again, you're getting that muscle pump, the skin stretching, the lymph node activation, along with a muscle pump movement. And then we'll come to the other side. Really good if you have lymphedema in your arm, especially if it gets stagnant around the elbow, which it often does. Good. So that's the upper body lymph drainage. So your chest, your neck, your shoulders, your armpits, your inner elbows. Now we'll move down to the lower half. So we'll take our hands, imagine that your abdominal region is split in half, so like a cross down the center here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. We'll take our hands to the top 2 quadrants, so right around the rib cage, and we'll inhale. And as you inhale, give a little resistance here, so push, push, push. And then as you exhale, let everything soften and relax. If you need to straighten the arms and shake out, you can. One more time. We'll inhale, pushing the belly into the hands, hands into the belly, and then exhale, letting it release and relax. Good. And then the third and fourth quadrant, we'll place our hands here. Same thing, 2 breaths. So we'll inhale, give a little push, push, push. Exhale, soften and relax. One more, inhale, push, push, push. And exhale, let it go. And then we'll lean back in our chair a little bit so you have access to your inguinal and pelvic lymph nodes. So snug your pinky fingers into your hip bones. And then you can widen the legs if that feels good for you. And you can start to pump towards the belly button. So creating some circular pumps here. So this is really good if you have any stagnant fluid here in your pubic area, in your abdominal, or in your legs. So getting that fluid, or if you have kind of just stuck bloating or stuck fluid and energy in this area. You can come to the sides of the hips. Maybe give a little love to the sides of the hips and the low back, just as a way to ignite some energy and flow. And then our last lymph node area is behind our knees. So take your hands, you're gonna cup behind the knees, and you're gonna pump towards your body. So you can kind of go up and up towards your body. So getting your fingers in the crook of the knee. It's best to do all of this skin to skin contact. So it would be ideal if you did it before or after a shower or when you're getting dressed. And then come to the other knee. Good. And then come back up, sit up nice and tall and proud that you just ignited and woke up all of the lymph nodes in your body pretty much. And now we'll begin our flow. So we'll inhale, reach our arms all the way up, stretch up, look up towards the sky. And then exhale, imagine you're pushing the walls away from you as the arms come down. Nice. Palms face up, lift the arms up. Maybe you tap the hands, clap the hands at the top, and then push the walls away as you slowly lower. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, reach up, lift up, stretch through the armpits, stretch the shoulders, lift. And then exhale, feel the energy, feel the strength in your arms as you lower. Good, breath in to lift. Exhale to lower. Last one, breathe in, lift and rise. Exhale to lower. Hands to the thighs, palms facing down. Inch your way towards the edge of your chair for our cat and cow. So placing the hands to the thighs, we're gonna inhale, rock on the pelvis forward, lifting through the chin and the chest, peel the shoulder blades back, And then as you exhale, tuck the chin, round and pull through. So inhale, you're rocking on the pelvis, opening up, getting some chest expansion, heart opening. And as you exhale, blow all that air out. Imagine that umbrella coming up and in, squeezing that major duct. Inhale, roll forward. Nice job breathing in. Open mouth, exhale, let it be loud. Inhale forward. Exhale. This is one of the best exercises you can do because you're opening up your chest where all that lymph fluid re-enters the bloodstream. And you're also activating your core, contracting through your abdominal muscles. Take one more at your own pace. Nice. Also really good exercise for your pelvic floor. And then coming back up to center, we'll take our shoulders up towards our ears, back and down. So taking a nice shoulder roll here, just loosening up through the shoulders. You can swim the arms around if that feels good. Create a little space, a little dance, maybe do something weird. Nobody's watching you. You're just watching me. Good. A few more times, breathing in and out. And then relax down, release the hands. We're gonna take our right hand across our lap. Inhale, left arm lifts all the way up. And then nice and slow side body bend. So you can wiggle those top fingers, send some energy through. Any time that the limb is lifted against gravity helps to propel the fluid. So when a limb is lifted, the valves of the lymph vessels open and that fluid has a nice pathway to move. So that's why legs up the wall or lifting the arms up helps. Take another breath here to open up. Exhale, wiggle the fingers, melt the hand all the way down. Other side. Left hand towards the right thigh. Inhale, the right arm lifts. Exhale, side body stretch. You can kind of open and close here, getting a little bit of trunk rotation. You can roll the wrists. So I strongly encourage you to be in your own body, make it your own. Maybe scrunch up the face, make a really weird scrunch up face and then let it relax. See if that does something for your energy. And then take another breath, expand. And then exhale, wiggle those fingers, softly melt all the way down. Awesome. We'll reach our arms forward, thumbs facing up. And then we'll inhale, expand and open, lift through the chest. And then exhale, right arm on top, left arm bottom. Give yourself a hug and curl in. Inhale, open up, expand, spread like wings. Opposite arm on top and hug in. 2 more times. Inhale, open, feel the power, the strength in your body. Exhale, bring that strength in, hug it tight. 1 more, inhale, open. Exhale. And then open up, spread, extend, and then drop the hands and release. Good. And then we're gonna widen through our legs here. And then we're gonna interlace our hands and release the index fingers down to the earth. And then we're gonna inhale, reach those arms up. And then exhale, we're going to point over towards the right side. So hovering over that right thigh, drawing the arms down into center, coming up towards the left thigh and all the way up. So now incorporating the lower half and the upper half. Keep the lower half of your body nice and stable as you do this. If it feels better to open up the arms and imagine you're holding onto a big beach ball, that's totally fine too if that feels better in your anatomy. Take 1 more in this direction. And then lift up, shine up, lift and reach. And then hands come down through heart center. Slide the hands to the thighs. Toes pointed out. We're gonna draw one shoulder down as you look over the other shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other shoulder down and twist. Good. One more time, breathing into center. Exhale, dip the shoulder in. Inhale, center. Exhale, dipping in. Awesome. And then coming back up, lifting through the arms, stretching up, interlace. This time, bring the hands behind the head. Just allow the head to cradle into the hands, getting a nice pec stretch, just allowing. Imagine you're just at a beach, relaxing, even though it's so cold out right now. And then reach those arms back up, and we're gonna reverse the circle. So take 4 circles in the opposite direction. So over the left leg, center, right leg up and around. So feel your side waist expand, getting the rib cage to expand, the intercostal muscles stretching. Again, you can take that beach ball vibe if you want. Lifting up on the breath in. Exhale with control, you're coming down. One more time. Exhale. And then inhale, lift, lift, lift. Stretch up. This time, exhale, cactus the arms. Draw the elbows into the side ribs. Good. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, arms come down. And then keep this cactus arms. We're going to heel toe the feet back in so that they're now hip distance. The next time you lift the arms up, I want you to extend through that left leg and then slowly bring the elbows in. Good. Inhale, lifting up, reaching opposite leg. Good. And then slowly lowering. One more time each side. Breathe in and out. One more, breathe in and out. Let the dust just settle, relax, release. We'll take a few more poses and then we'll settle in. So we'll draw our right leg into the chest. So if you can't quite get a hold, you can also use a dish towel underneath the thigh to hold on. So take a moment if you need that modification, but we're going to start to create some circles through this leg. Maybe move through the ankle, through the foot. Get a little cracks and crinkles there. It's all good. Good. And then maybe reverse the circle. Making sure to sit up nice and tall. Good. And then we'll place our hands behind our leg to the hamstring. Slowly start to extend that leg if you can. Flex the toes back towards your face. Point the toes and then draw it down. Good. Inhale, extend. Point the toes back. And then flex and release. Good. One more time. And then dropping that leg. Give it a little bit of love. Maybe tapping the leg. And then we'll draw our left knee into our chest. Hug this in. Maybe find a little bit of a circular movement. Sitting up nice and tall. Finding some movement in the toes and the ankle. Getting some compression and relaxation for these lymph nodes in the hip. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the hands to the hamstring 3 times. Inhale, extending the leg, flex the toes back, and then drawing that knee back down. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Last one, breathe in. And release down. And again, give a little tap, tap, tap. Tapping is a good way to help feel our body, so our proprioception, our sense of where our body is in space. We can now come to the tapping to the lower belly, to the sides of the hip, to the back. It's also a good way just to feel a sense of relief, a sense of comfort. Coming all the way up, good, coming to the chest, maybe tapping down one arm, and then the other. And then my favorite, coming to the face, to the back of the neck. So do what feels good. Obviously, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. But just start to notice, and then the benefits will start to seep in as you just release the arms into the lap. Feel the movement, the vibration through your body. Come back to your breath. Notice the in and out. And then we'll take one more posture here, a spinal twist. So we'll inhale, reach the arms all the way up, stretching up. Exhale, twisting towards the right. Breathing in to lift and exhaling, twisting. Slow breath in and slow breath out. And then reaching all the way up, twisting to the other side. See if you can find some length on the inhale. And then a little bit of a release on the exhale. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, soften the arms into the lap, and I'll encourage you to find a nice comfortable seat. So if you have a sweater or a blanket, drape it over you and find comfort. So maybe that's the feet relax, the arms into the lap, the shoulders soften. And now is the time that to allow all the benefits of your physical practice seep in throughout your body. We'll begin a mantra together. So as you breathe in your mind say, I choose. Exhale to let it flow. Inhale, I choose. Exhale to let it flow. See if you can soften through your lower body, stable, supported, and secure in your foundation. Let your mind soften. Just allowing it to flow. Choose to let it flow. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go, side out. Take another one, you deserve it. Take a breath in. Let it go. And then we'll wiggle our fingers and our toes. And then we'll reach up one more time tonight together. Exhale, bring hands down through heart center. Bring those thumbs to your heart. Thank yourself for coming tonight, for doing something wonderful for your mind and body. Setting the intention and manifesting a beautiful night's sleep for all of you, a healing sleep to replenish your energy so that you wake up refreshed and renewed. And I hope to see you all soon. We can take a moment to take a breath in together. And then exhale, we can bow to one another to share our gratitude for one another. Thank you all so much for spending this time with me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.